Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're cracking open the vault on something that literally impacts every single student and teacher, yet somehow happens almost entirely behind the scenes. We are taking a journey inside the K-12 learning supply chain to see exactly how the education system builds, manages, and distributes its vital learning materials.
I mean, have you ever actually stopped to wonder how a simple idea eventually turns into a finalized lesson plan, or that physical textbook sitting on a desk in a classroom? It doesn't just magically appear out of thin air. There is a massive, highly structured infrastructure working around the clock to make it happen, and taking a look under the hood gives us a pretty profound appreciation for what really goes into our education systems.
Okay, let's dive right into our roadmap for today. First, we'll look at the tools of learning. Then we'll map out the instructional design process, cover quality control and copyright, explore the resource management ecosystem, and finally wrap up with the educator's digital hub.
All right, let's kick things off with part one, the tools of learning.
So what exactly are we talking about here? Well, the official definition of learning resources, or LRs, is actually quite broad. It encompasses any print or non-print materials, devices, tools, and media that are aligned with the K-12 curriculum. These are used as the primary bases or sometimes just supplements for teaching and learning. Basically, these are the actual products traveling through our entire educational supply chain. And these resources are incredibly diverse. When I say learning resources, your mind probably jumps straight to those heavy textbooks, right? But while we do absolutely have print materials like textbooks, activity sheets, and storybooks, including leveled reading materials like Wikahan, the non-print side is just as vital. We're talking about manipulative toys, specialized equipment, tools, videos, and even assistive technology devices. All of these different items have to be carefully sourced and managed to support different learning styles.
Moving right along to part two, the instructional design process. Because you can't just, scribble a quick worksheet on a napkin and hand it out. There's a strict 5-step instructional design process that every single resource has to survive. It starts with research, moves into careful planning, and then goes into the actual development of the material. But it doesn't stop there. Steps 4 and 5, evaluation and validation, are absolutely critical. This whole sequence ensures that every resource is learner-centered, constructivist, and perfectly aligned with the curriculum standards.
What's really fascinating here is how the system decides what to build first. It's essentially educational triage. Priority goes directly to learning competencies that currently have no existing learning materials. The goal is to spot the gaps in the curriculum and strategically create materials to fill those specific voids. It's a smart way to decongest the curriculum and make sure there's a smooth continuity of learning across every grade level.
That brings us to part 3, quality control and copyright.
Before anything gets near a student, it acts against a super strict quality control filter based on 10 core social content themes. I'm going to rapid fire these so you get a sense of the sheer scope: human person, nation and citizenship, society, race, ethnicity and culture, religion, role model, gender, population, health and safety, and the environment. Every single illustration, story, and lesson has to align appropriately with these themes to make sure the learning environment is safe and inclusive for everyone.
And beyond those social themes, there's the legal side, absolute legal constraints. As Republic Act 8293 states, copyright is the legal protection extended to the owner of the rights in an original work, which may refer to any production in the literary, scientific, and artistic domain. Meaning, creators in this supply chain have to be incredibly careful. If a reference is incomplete or an illustration doesn't have clear permission, you're looking straight at copyright infringement. This legal layer is a massive, uncompromising checkpoint in the whole quality assurance process.
Let's zoom out a bit for part 4, the resource management ecosystem.
Think of the centralized nervous system for this entire operation. It's called LRMDS, the Learning Resource Management and Development System. It functionally connects everything, from the central office all the way down to regions, divisions, and individual schools. It is a massive, interconnected web designed specifically to strengthen how learning resources are developed, assessed, and distributed at every single level. To keep that giant web from getting tangled, the LRMDS dictates very specific standards across its core scope. It covers assessment and evaluation, so quality doesn't slip. It dictates storage and maintenance, so valuable resources aren't just lost to time. It handles publication and delivery to get the materials out into the world, and of course, development and production. It essentially manages the entire life cycle of both digital and non-digital resources. It's the ultimate playbook for educational logistics.
Which leads us to our final stop, part 5, the educator's digital hub. Historically, getting these materials into classrooms was pretty fragmented and, frankly, exhausting. Teachers had to rely on centrally procured physical items, wait around for physical donations, or just locally harvest whatever older materials they could find lying around. But today, we've shifted to a much more modern approach, the enhanced LR portal. We are moving away from physical warehouses and scattered resources toward a highly efficient, centralized digital clearinghouse.
You can think of the enhanced LR portal like a hyper-customized, incredibly powerful search engine built exclusively for teachers. It's a web-based catalog and repository. An educator can just log in, type in a keyword, a topic, or even a very specific curriculum competency code, and instantly pull up a list of approved, quality-assured resources. It'll tell them where physical resources are located, but more importantly, it gives them direct access to digitized versions right then and there.
But honestly, my favorite part, and probably the most empowering feature of the whole shebang, is the media gallery. By selecting the Create icon on the portal, teachers aren't just consumers of this supply chain anymore. They become active creators themselves. They can build their own customized resources using a massive library of official, pre-approved photos and illustrations. This lets them tailor lessons to their students' unique needs while staying perfectly safe within the strict bounds of copyright law we talked about earlier.
So that leaves us with a pretty fascinating thought to reflect on today. As digital resource management continues to evolve at lightning speed, how will these hyper-curated, instantly accessible digital supply chains shape the future of your local schools? When teachers have the power of a national, copyright-cleared, quality-assured database right at their fingertips, the possibilities for our classrooms are truly endless. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and keep exploring the incredible hidden systems that build our world.